What's up everyone? Welcome back to another tutorial in our beginner VJ course. In this video, we're going to break down layers in Resolume. First, we'll get you familiar with all of the layer controls and options we have available to us. Then I'll walk you through Resolume's layer functionality to help you understand how to structure your content within your composition. So with that being said, let's hop right into it. Okay, so to start this off, let's get you guys familiar with some of the tools and controls that we have available specifically for our layers. But first, I'm actually going to switch back to the default layout. And if you haven't watched any of the previous tutorials within our beginner VJ course, I'd highly recommend that you do so. I dropped a couple of videos on how to optimize your composition layout, as well as your composition settings within Resolume. I'll place a link to both of those videos in the description below. But for now, we're going to be working with the default layout because there are some controls that I had recommended that you turn off due to the redundancy within our composition. But if you are using the recommended layout that I'd given in our previous tutorial, let's go ahead and switch back to the default layout for now. That way we can talk about each of these layer controls and what they do. So first, let's talk about how we can select a layer. So as you can see here, we have a few different layers that we are using within our composition, and they are named layer 1 through 3. Now to select a layer, all you have to do is click on the name of that layer, and what it'll do is it will prompt your layer panel. And then within our layer panel, you can see that we have a number of different master controls for that layer specifically. So for instance, we have our master opacity, we have the video opacity, we can adjust the master blend mode, we can play around with the width and height. We also have controls for our blend mode transitions, as well as the duration of our transitions. And then we can also adjust the transform, so we can move the position X and Y, as well as some scaling options to make it bigger or smaller. Now, we also have those same set of controls, at least a lot of them, within our layer here. So for instance, we have our master opacity, which you can see it moving right here. We also have the video opacity. And then we're not using any audio right now, but here's where you would adjust the volume of the audio. And then we have some transport options for our clip specifically within that layer. So we can make the clip go backwards, we can pause it, we can make it go forwards again. And then we can also play around with the functionality of our clip, so we can make it loop, we can bounce the clip. So what bounce does is if, let's say we go backwards and right when it's about to start or finish, it'll just bounce back instead of restarting and looping. We can also make the clip random, and so that'll just make it jump along the clip's timeline to different spots of the clip. We also have options for play once and clear, which once the clip finishes, it'll just end up clearing the clip. And then we also have options for an option for play once and hold, so once it finishes, it's just going to pause. But let's switch back to the default loop. And then we also have some options for restart, continue, and relative. So what these transport options do is, let's say within our layer, we want to click on a clip, okay? Every time we click on that clip, it's going to trigger it. And then if it's set to restart, it's going to restart at frame 0. Now, if we have it on continue and we leave it alone, right? It's going, we click on another clip, we come back, it's still going to be continuing on that timeline from when we last left it. Now, what relative does is, let's say we have these two clips within our layer here, and let's make both of them relative. So as you can see here, this is the timestamp right now along our timeline. Both of these are set to relative. Once I click to that next clip, it's going to be relative to the previous clip that's also on relative, its timeline stamp. So as you can see here, they're both moving together. Now, if I were to click on a new clip that's not set to relative, that restarted, I click on another clip that's relative, it's going to be relative to the last clip that we had triggered. And so that's what your relative, continue, and restart transport options do. So those are mainly clip specific, but we do have those options within our layer controls here. Now we also have some more options. We can adjust the speed, which is also clip specific. We actually don't have any speed control within our layers. But what we do have is we have a master composition speed control, which will adjust the speed of all the clips in all of our layers rather than just one individual clip. Now, as you can see here, you might have noticed that I am clicking a button and it's going back to default. To do that, all you have to do is press the right click on your mouse and it will default back to its starting point. So we also have some options for we have more blend mode options. We have the master blend mode here, which we're gonna talk about blend modes more in depth in our very next tutorial. And we'll actually hop back into blend modes here in a second once I show you how to composite your layers. But for now, we have some more blend mode options with our transitions. So you can change how the blend mode for clip to clip within that layer. So if I put it on darken, it's going to give it this darken blend mode effect from one clip to the next. But I typically use alpha, so we're going to put it back on the default. And then here's where we will adjust the transition duration. Now, I will say that I like to manually plug in my duration within my layer panel for every single one of my layers. Now, there might be some layers where they will have a different duration, but typically I aim for 1 to 2 seconds of duration for my transitions for each of my layers. So I prefer to have them all kind of the same. That way it looks clean whenever you're mixing within Resolume. But we'll put that back on default for now. And then we have some more options over here. So we have this X button, which what that does is it will kill the clip within that layer. And then we also have a bypass button here. That's what the B is. What that'll do is that'll just turn off that layer only. So for instance, let's say we have another layer going, right? And this one is bypassed. They're not going to be mixed together. Since this one's bypassed, it's only going to be showing the other layers that are active. Now, if we wanted to only play, let's say, this top layer, and if I have other layers going and we don't want them showing just this one layer active, we can hit this S button, which means solo. And so now we are within our canvas. We'll call this our composition monitor, our canvas. It's going to be just that solo layer that's active whenever you have this S punched. Now we also have our crossfader channels for A and B. And so you can set up each of your layers to a certain channel. And then as you can see here, beneath your layer controls, we have options to crossfade it over to an A channel or the B channel. And so what that does is it just gives you a little bit more fine control over mixing and blending your layers. We also have our options within our layers here. So if you right click on the layer name, or if you come over here to your layer tab, you'll see that we can create a new layer. We can insert a layer above or below the layer that we have selected. We can duplicate the selected layer. We can rename it. If you have any effects added into your layer panel, for instance, so let's say we want to add this, let's do this circle mask, right? We'll put that on, drag it and drop it within our layer panel, okay? So now you can see that this is what we're getting when we have it. Let's see, we drop that in layer 1. So we have this circle mask effect going. Now, if we wanted to add a bunch of different effects and we stack them all within layer 1 to make it really easy to paste onto other layers, let's say we're using specific effect stacks or something that you'd want to reuse for all of your layers, you can just right click your layer here, you can click copy effects, come over here to whatever layer you want to paste it to, and we're going to click paste effects here. Now if you come to layer 3, you can see that we have that effect pasted within our layer. Now we can also create groups. We can make that layer group. We can clear all clips. We can remove the layer altogether. We can create a masking layer for that layer that's selected, which we will talk more about masking in a future tutorial. We can also color our layers. So as you can see here, once I select off of it, it's colored. So if you like to color coordinate things, there you go. And then last but not least, we can actually collapse the layer as well, or fold it. And what this does is it will give you more real estate within your composition. So if you are working with a ton of different layers, this might be a great option for you. But instead of right clicking and clicking fold, you can also click this plus or minus sign to fold it. And that pretty much covers it for all of the controls that we have for our layers. So let's actually talk about how to use our layers within Resolume. Okay, so let's add a clip within our layer 3. And actually, we are going to hop back into that recommended layout that I had given you guys in our previous tutorial. That way we can see more of what's going on within our composition and our preview monitors, because we are going to be working with some blend modes and some mixing of our layers, and it's just easier to see. So, all right, the way that Resolume works is that it renders everything from bottom to top. However, for example, let's add another clip within layer 1. Your top layer will take priority over everything beneath it. So what I mean by that is you can see that we are at our default opacity, video opacity of 50%. And if we bring that up to 100%, we can see that we're no longer able to see that layer 1. And that's because, again, it takes priority over everything beneath it. Now, you can see that with these two layers blended together, it doesn't look very clean, and we're getting a lot of harsh whiteness, and that's because of the blend modes that we have active right now. So the default blend mode for your layers is going to be set to add, but I want you to play around with some of the different blend modes, and again, we are going to be talking more in depth about blend modes in our very next tutorial, so be sure to watch that one. But let's go ahead and change it to alpha for now. That's probably the most common blend mode for layers. And something really quick is your first layer will not matter as far as your blend modes are concerned, because it has nothing to interact with beneath it. So if we want to switch it to, let's say, darken, for instance, you can see that nothing is actually happening because there's nothing for it to blend with beneath it. So it really doesn't matter what your first layer is set to, so you can just leave that on add. But we did switch this to alpha, so now you can see that it's blending a little bit better than, let's say, when it was on add, right? It's not as harsh as far as the whiteness goes. And that harsh whiteness is something that we call white soup, and it's from the stacking of multiple clips and the whites intersecting with each other. And once you have so many layers and clips that are stacking on top of each other that are using add blend modes, it's just going to be straight white, and it just does not look clean. So we're going to switch that to alpha, and now you can see that we're getting a little bit of a better blend. So something that you might have noticed with the alpha blend mode is that although it does blend better across your layers, it's significantly more dim than the add blend mode. And that's because with the add blend mode, once we take a look at the video opacity slider here of our layer, the default value is 50%, but it's not a true 50% opacity value. It's actually a 100% value with the add blend mode. And so as we cross that 50% threshold to a higher value, you can see that nothing's actually changing. It's staying the same value of 100%. Now with alpha, the 50% default value is a true 50% opacity value for the layer itself. So as we crank that up to, let's say, 100%, it is true to scale. So now we are getting a little bit more brighter as we cross that 50% threshold. So let's add a clip within our second layer here, and they're both at their default value of 50%. And with the alpha blend mode, it's just a little too dim, right? So what we need to do is we need to increase the opacity value here. But once we do that, we run into an issue. And that issue is that that top layer takes priority over everything beneath it, and now it's not showing our active layer 2. So how do we get both of these layers to be bright enough but also blend together seamlessly? That is done through a trick called automask. And automask is a native effect within Resolume. So head over to your effects tab and let's type in automask. And whenever we do that, what we're going to do is we're going to take this effect and we're going to drag and drop that into each of our layers. So do that for all of these. So I drop that into layer 1. Let's do layer 2. And then you can drag and drop that into the layer itself, or you can click on that individual layer and you can bring up that layer panel here, and we can drag and drop that effect directly into the layer panel. Now there's a couple more things that we need to do. So let's head over to our layer panel here, and we're going to find that auto mask effect that we dropped in. We're going to adjust the contrast parameter and bring that up to 1. So let's do that for each of our layers. And then now let's head over to layer 3, and we're going to jump up the opacity value to 100%. So you can see that now that we move that to 100%, we no longer have that issue with it taking priority and it not showing the layers beneath it. We can still see layer 2. So let's take the opacity of layer 2. We'll bring that up to 100% as well. And now you can see that we no longer have that dimness issue with using the alpha blend mode. So both of our layers are blending together seamlessly, and we don't have any issues across our opacity. So this is all done through that auto mask trick. So I'd highly recommend that you do that for each of the layers that you set up within your composition. So now that we got that set up for you, that pretty much covers the base understanding for layers in Resolume. From here, I'd recommend playing around with the ordering of your clips, as certain content will blend better on top layers, whereas others will blend better in the middle or on lower layers. Alongside that, you'll need to familiarize yourself with blend modes, which we will be covering in the very next tutorial. So with that being said, that's it for this one, guys. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.